easy. And on the other side, we have your boy Savage saying, fear the mango. So on
Okay.
that note, we have the game live and bloody ready.
Yeah, well, I ran a little bit of a poll earlier on in the day as well, and the statistics are going 64% order and 37% over, or around about that for Ex-Direwolves. So the favor is here for order. I'm actually just noticing as well, the new HUD. First time that we get to have our words behind it.
Very, very good. Now, looks like we are going to see Ex-Direwolves grouping up and smashing their way over towards the B side of things. Very single-man defense over towards here as well. It's just Valiant's looking to hold it down the fort and play for that retake. So Ex-Direwolves should at least get a plant, if not some more.
Yeah, well, they're already forcing them back. It's going to be a 5 versus 5 post plan at this current time. Licky baiting out the plant, waiting for any util, any peaks, the aggression to come through from order. But as it goes down, this is going to be one chaotic retake to come through.
Valiant's looking to take point now. Smoke as well, just to try to split up the troops there on the defense. Ricky trying to go forward, but everything a little bit crazy here. Sterling finds the first, and Savage close range, able to snag away another. It's going to be Licky dancing around default, left, right. Eventually, it's Sterling to pick up another, and things not going right for order at all. Ustillo, Gonskis, and a big round coming out from Ex-Direwolves, really putting their foot down to start the series on a high note.
Yeah, they really just forced order back, didn't they? Only the little spotter to come through from Valiant, and as soon as he realizes that there's too many bodies here and he can't make them hit the floor as quick as he would like, call in the cavalry, wait for a bit of a retake, and it just felt like a little bit of a pea shooting gallery to come out from specifically Sterling there, able to pick up 3 in the end. But with the way that that does venture, we go into the purchase of this one for Galils and the Krieg to come out for the side of the Ex-Direwolves, and the Deagles are going to be here for order.
Okay, so slow early round from both sides, just trying to get any information. Ex-Direwolves already establishing that the B site is going to be that weak site for Order, who have, after the previous couple of series, usually go for this A site stack because that's where Ex-Direwolves hit majority of the time. But Ex-Direwolves just changing up those strats, trying to condition Order into where they're playing, and just really looking to play a couple of mind games really early on here on Vertigo.
Oh, we're starting to lean over towards this A site at the moment. Licky already pushed up through towards Scaff, and he's going to be met with the team. Still a bunch of utility as well to deploy down on toward the site. The 50-second mark will come on through. And it's going to be down to the 3 players on order here to see how much damage that they can deliver. To have a little bit of utility from them. The flashbangs could be quite potent here, but starting to creep on through. Ex-Direwolves still being relatively silent.
Let's see what they're going to be able to do here. Hazard just Xing, Molly over towards Tetris, and Gyro are going to be really left out on an island when these smokes start to bloom. So he's going to have to go absolutely huge here. Ustillo pushing in, just trying to get a little bit of a flood going, try to help out his teammate before this push comes in. But Ex-Direwolves just hitting the accelerator at the right point. Hazard, 2 beautiful entries coming through. APOC able to refresh one of those smokes, but the bomb not going down just yet. 15 seconds. X-Light wants to go forward. However, not going to be able to stop that bomb from getting planted. And it's up to Ricky now, who's last alive in a 1-on-5. And it sounds like he's Gonski's headshot found by Hazard. And a second round in the bag for Ex-Direwolves early.
Only damage to be delivered out from Order there. I do wonder if the change to those Deagles had such a significant outcome and result in the damage from that round, right? From 3 shots, now that the Deagle are what used to be 2, those 2 bullets could have taken out a couple of the Ex-Direwolves guys. But for that round, all 5 alive and only having to reinvest into utility, they would be expected to be able to claim this one quite convincingly as well. And straight over towards ramp as well, get a little bit of this control. They're going to be really not with any presence by Order, who have gone for the gamble stack over at that B site.
Let's see how it goes for this stack. You got Ricky trying to take first contact close. The double default setup as well. The next Direwolves, they're just going to be slowly prodding, slowly pushing, and seeing where the defensive setup is. So for the moment, you can see them just lurking at mid, lurking over towards that A ramp as well, and just throwing a bit of util, but not forcing out any information just yet. Order happily holding their ground for the moment.
Yeah, waiting patiently. They've got the chance stack to be able to see Ex-Direwolves walk in toward the side as well. But as Licky does start to peek in towards the other side of the map, he's going to call that it is empty at the moment. And if you are in one bomb site and know that no one's home, the chances are that they're all on the other side is pretty much 100%. So just creeping on through, trying to make the space that he can for his team to have a little bit of an easier run in for the bomb plant. And as that starts to come on through, the kills will also follow.
There you have it. Mop up from APOC as well.
Oh,
Find himself the triple on the anti-eco and a clean one coming out from Ex-Direwolves. So there it is, 3 on the board already. An order going into their first gun round are trying to change the tides and set their foot down, try to get into the game early. Now, this is the first game I've seen between these two where the A1S has the buff as well. So let's see what's going on. Quick tech pause coming through as well. Looks like someone might have just lagged out. And Order are just having a bit of a chat, trying to fix what's going on. Okay. So I think it's a bit of a technical issue from a player. So
essentially
we'll see how that one goes.
Gyra, but the purchase is coming through now, so everything's good in that regard. I was going to mention as well, I didn't see any kits come out from Order until a Vexite grabbed one, so that's always good to have your 5-second defusal chance instead of that 10-second one there. Just got to keep a bit of track on that. And also Rick already being on the AWP in the 3rd round could certainly look to hold down one of these sites as well, or even mid for that matter. That's where he currently is poised towards.
Yeah, well, we got the double push in towards mid for Order. However, we've got a couple of defenders just deep holding that line. A bit of aggression over towards ramp, some noise made. And Savage, he's taken some damage. So it looks like there was a push from Gyra in towards that top ladder area. But how do Ex-Direwolves rotate off the back of this situation?
Yeah, well, they're going to bully their way straight in towards the bomb site, and they are going to be met with a little bit of the resilience here. But Licky pulling the pin on the gun and taking the heads off of the opponents right now. It does mean that the bomb plant can start to go down. We're going to see Ricky with the AWP look to poise in for a couple of frags, but he's going to be immediately smoked out. And I do wonder, Order, do they fancy themselves in toward the retake? There's the molly, forcing Ricky to half HP. And this gap in the smoke cannot be exploited either.
Comes that double bust. Couple of late smokes coming through, but Ex-Direwolves, they've got some time to play with, so they're just keeping it slow, hoping that a push comes in on the flank and they can yeet it straight back over towards B. But for now, it is just going to be that stick on the middle of site. Savage chipped down to 41 HP, but the numbers still here in the post plant, so Savage just happy to hold his ground there at default. Wait for this retake util to come through, which might separate him from the rest of the troops. Flashbang comes out just with the extra info, and that's going to line Savage up for another as well. So big kill coming through from there. And as you can see, Order just backing away, happily giving that 4th round just to keep the big green alive, that A1 alive, and move on with some form of firepower into the 5th round. But a very solid start coming out from Ex-Direwolves.
Yeah, well, they're going to need to see if they can hold on to these rifles as well, because that's going to re-enable them a little bit of a purchase to come on through in the next round. Rick will be able to drop one, but now that you've lost one of these members as well, that's that M4 not being able to come over. So it might just be a case of them going in with the half buy. And as we do start to see it come through, that is going to be it. The big reliance upon maybe an opener to come through from Ricky here, and recovery of the rifles are going to be quite crucial, because for the T-side start on this map right now from Ex-Direwolves, they are certainly starting to tell the narrative of, you know, why they were able to best Renegades the other day, why they were able to give such a fierce fight in that grand final.
Okay, well, early dig smoke coming through here, forcing Vexite just to play a line and hope that he can get a gap underneath the smoke. But again, Ex-Direwolves, I believe they're smoked off as well. So just going to wait this one out, play it slow. Just lob a little bit of util, not too much though. The back of that. Looks like Ricky goes for the advanced line over towards B. But again, both teams just expecting some kind of aggression. So, trying to take a little bit of a risk early on. Getting towards that mid-round mark, though. So, Ex-Direwolves starting to rotate into position. You've got that bomb retrieved, which is starting to gravitate back towards the B side of things. Savage looks like he might go for a backstab in through mid, as the A ramp contact might just be a fake.
Yeah, well, again, Ricky, the AWP is something that you need to see him be able to find a lot of damage with in this round, and the grouping up of the Ex-Direwolves around his location as well. But a missed shot is going to force him back, and as the Ex-Direwolves go time to start to get a little bit of this utility down, with 40 seconds to go, they can marry their way back over towards the other side if they want, but they really don't have any ground control over there, and the flank is already coming through from Gyra.
They're going to be able to collapse on this push in time. Ricky finding some impact finally over towards the B site. Now Val has to try to hold down some extra time just playing around Gen. He has a gap over the top of the smoke, and Ex-Direwolves hit him with the pre-fire. So just clearing out the angle before it becomes an issue. You still though, nice headshot found. As again, he's going to be traded through, so rotations coming in from bloody everywhere at the moment, and it's all up to Gyro in 1-on-3. Positions known. Getting past these A1Ss in the hands of the T's is going to be a big ask, especially now we get to see a little bit of that action. So I'm keen to see this, Dion. It's been speculated going into this tournament that now we are going to see a lot of T's actually opting to pick up the A1s of the AKs. But as I say, that one's been thrown away for the AK for someone there on the team. So maybe I've spoken too soon.
Yeah, potentially so, but of course, certainly damage can come out in the end of that. The Tracer's not going through the smokes as well. You can really find a little bit of damage. You know, the standard smoke that goes down over towards a ramp. You can start to get some bullets through in that sort of fashion. But right now, double AWP has been pulled out from Order. It's a very costly investment. It's a heavy investment that they'll need to try and hold on towards going through the stages of this map. You currently got Ricky over towards mid with one of them. And you got Valiant on the other side of the map on the B site, where Direwolves are starting to set up a little bit of the utility rather to see what they can spot.
Okay. Again, a slow approach. There's always a lot of noise made early on, but both these teams have played a few times recently on this map, so really just trying to iron out all those mistakes. However, hasn't quite been working as maybe Order have expected. They're just holding some extra util here, making sure it's not going to be a late bust. No over-rotation from the A-site players too, with this fake util thrown towards the B side. And Ricky, he's still posted here and waiting for the push to come through.
Well, we've already got Licky up through scaffolding again. He's been able to make good use of this location and really buy a lot of time, a lot of information, hold the push at bay that Order might look to go with themselves. A beautiful nade on towards ramp, however, really softens up these Ex-Direwolves members. And with the flashes starting to go through, it's 1-on-1 trade. Vexite doubling down, and on the 3 versus 3, there's only 20 seconds to get this bomb plant.
Really need to push forward now. Molly over to Dig as well, so great use of what little util they've got left. Gyra holding down a bit of extra map control, and this is going to make it that little bit harder. Ex-Direwolves now forced to plant out in the open. Sterling, great coverage just to get that bomb planted, but it's all up to the young gun Savage, who's only got a smoker's cover. He goes forward, but the Orps reign supreme on the retake, and Order pick up their first round, 1-5 now up against Ex-Direwolves.
And carrying over these double AWPs as well means that they do have that potency and the reliance upon them. Already some great damage to be seen in that round as well, making sure that the frags are pretty much cleanly collected on from Order. Investment for them for utility and everything, but with the way that Direwolves have gotten 5 rounds already, they've got a pretty comfortable investment to go in towards this one too. And I do wonder, you know, we've had a couple of the slower paced rounds from them at the moment. Is it time to turn up the heat? Is it time to go in straight through towards like the ace site? We've seen Licky again just gather a lot of control over towards Scaff, and they might be able to just run with that.
Again, just running back again over towards the A ramp. Ricky going for a more aggressive play this time, but not able to find anything over the top of the smoke. Everyone's util seems to be on point for the moment. Next Direwolves, they haven't changed up that pace just yet. Not going for too fast of a strat, of a rush rather, up towards the A ramp side of things. Good molly comes through, but it's actually Vexite to find him with a wallbang. I think what that was the bag on the back of the terrorist model just popping through yellow. That's sometimes a little bug that happens, and that's all I could see, unless it was just, you know, a red pre-fire coming through from Vexite. Either way, Hazard's fallen as well, so big round from Vexite already, putting Order into the driver's seat.
Massive advantage for Order right now. 2 players. It's essentially onto Ex-Direwolves to be able to leave the issue at hand, to go in for these firefights and try to gather them in the end. the AWP, although Ricky's already taken damage, you know that he can still just lock down the line of sight with this one right now. So whilst he is still kind of set up, you've got Sterling looking to challenge him. And as the shoulders do start to come out, Sterling, very uncharacteristic, actually, that he manages to lose that duel. So APOC, Savage, 2 versus 5. A very difficult situation as the utility starts to go down to try and assist APOC in towards the firefight. They have to make sure that this objective is one of their issues as well.
Okay, Vexite drops that molly just to buy some extra time at the 20-second mark. So big brain play, but Ricky's fallen for it. And now APOC and Savage have an opportunity, but it's going to rely on APOC hitting a few. Savage trying to trade through as well, but he's got 3 seconds to get this plant down. And the rush comes through from Jara. So Order all over this ability to flood the site in the last couple of seconds. Ex-Direwolves just being kept out for a little bit too long, and the numbers were there for Order. So even trades down into another round for Order. 2-5 now.
2-5, starting to get a little bit of momentum on this CT side as well, and continuing to carry over the AWPs, like I said, is a big advantage for them. Though Ex-Direwolves in with another purchase right now, and they want to make sure that they can try and find the first pick in the round. The standard utility start to go down from Order around this A site. Licky's going to counter with some in return as well to give Order a good sense of presence that things are happening over at that A site. As the Direwolves start to slow the pace a little bit, Ustilo does lurk, waiting to see what he can do.
Well, everyone just slowing it down again. Direwolves going up towards the front of Crane and just looking to go for a bust. Big nade stack comes through and Licky falls as Ustilo able to control that dig area. So smoke goes down just to enable that plant to fall. And back to this 3-on-3 for the retake. Order just rotating away a little bit too early.
Oh, Savage has been valiant on top of the sniper's nest as well, but the shots start to come out and it does fluff in the end, unfortunately. APOC's on low HP as well, so he's going to be pretty hard done by in a challenge that does come toward his way. Sterling manages to dispatch of Ricky, and the 2 versus 2, there is still the smoke. That Order can start to get on towards this bomb, but Jira finds APOC, and now Sterling needs to come out with the 1 versus 2. It's all going to be dry on the back of this AWP as well, and as the shot does echo on through, he missed on towards Valiance, and that is going to be the death of it. Order, another round on the board.
Crazy scenes coming through there for Order. Able just to snag another away, but look at the economy. Take a quick stock of that one because it's going to look pretty rough after this bite. And again, Ex-Direwolves are able to invest in, again, they've got round loss bonus starting to be worked up. They're getting these plants down round after round. So that enables them just to buy up time and time again. And you're looking at this, yes, they might be broke for the next round, but they'll be able to get those deagles. Order really need to try to string as many together as humanly possible.
Yeah, just the damage that we've seen from Ex-Direwolves so far. Down near 0 on a couple of these players and exactly 0 on for Ricky. So no real extra utility to be able to throw into the early stages of this round, where we've seen Order really just like to dump that utility over towards the A site. You know, the standard set to make sure that they've got a little bit of security to stop the Ex-Direwolves from getting in toward the site freely. And as things do start to sort of begin in the round, Licky is going to be the first casualty.
Molly to default, and in comes this push bomb over towards the B side of the map as well, but still time to rotate. Gyro trying to hold it down the fort, does so successfully for 1 and a second. Great line going to be held, and he's still got some support from Vexite still there at default as well. So bomb going to be stuck over towards New Box for the moment, just trying to push its way forward. And in comes all of this util. Sterling needs to hit a couple of sharp ones, which he's going to do. Finds his way to sight, but he's hungry for a little more. And it's 2-for-1 trades in this situation, all up to Ricky now in the 1-on-1. And with 40 seconds, Sterling is going to commit to the plant now.
And Ricky should know he's low as well with the damage to come on through. The sidearm's out, but it doesn't even matter right now as Sterling holds on for the 4K. What a hold as well. Just opportunity after opportunity. Order, their heads being taken off, Mac. And you talk about the economy reset that Order need to throw Ex-Direwolves' way. Nah, flip it over the other side. Order, where's their money?
Question. Gornskis. That's the situation we were talking about at the start of the round. Now have a look at back of that replay again. Great couple of trades coming through. Look, they had the two-man disadvantage at one point, but both Sterling and Savage absolutely popping off in round 9 to get that one in the bag for Ex-Direwolves. Ricky, he's actually opted for a Zeus here, so hopefully we get to see a little bit of Zeus action. Something this man certainly loves. It looks like he's going to try to put himself in a position to do so. Just front crane stack, looking to crunch the numbers in this position. Not be too open to dig if a wrap comes through. But in comes that Molotov. So order now, where the Ex-Direwolves are just going to start to run it back with a few players up towards Scaff.
Bit of a scary prospect, though, with 4 players for order sitting at the same spot. These USPs can certainly get out a bunch of damage, and Ricky's not going to be able to utilize the Zeus at the moment, but there's a couple of kills to go their way. He's still alive and frolicking around the site, but with 27 HP, maybe the Zeus is the weapon that he wants to be able to utilize. Ex-Direwolves starting to hold it down, but Valiant's absolutely destructive onto Savage, and this is damage as far as order's concerned. That's a bit of a win in the round.
Very, very good. It's all about those minor victories. And look, a victory for both teams, really. Have a look at the money there for Ex-Direwolves, now winning 2 in a row. That chips away at the round loss bonus, and it's also chipped away at that economy. As you mentioned, those Pistons picking up a couple of kills had some huge impact for the long run, but there's only 5 rounds left here in the first half of Vertigo. So we'll see what Order is going to be able to do again on another gun round. Going for the 3-1-1 split, and it looks like Ex-Direwolves might be trying to speed things up over towards B.
Yeah, I do like it. Sterling's already on the line of sight, and he will manage to start off by dispatching a Valiant. That's one of the big players and the almost anchor of the B site, who we know is super impactful for Order to be able to try and do things. And we're seeing no real budges actually come out from Order in terms of rotation at the moment. Now they lose Ricky as well, and they have to really start to set themselves up for a bit of recovery in this round.
Bit of noise just going to be made. Vexite trying that spam out again, which succeeded for him before. Bit of contact in a moment as Hazard just holds on the short side. One and done position, but he's going to be able to get away scot-free because the CT started to split up, and it's all up to Vexite. But now with that kill, his position's known. And he's in that 1-on-5, back to the 1-on-4, with Sterling close and able to trade. So no fairy tale finish for Vexite in round 11. However, round 12 is a different ball game, and that round loss bonus again starting to be worked up from Order.
Yeah, it's not going to be able to permit them a purchase in toward this round, unfortunately. And with the loss in the previous, it does mean the next Direwolves are going to be leading at the half here no matter what, and setting themselves up to 9, maybe 10 on the T side of Vertigo. First map in this best of 3 as well. In a curveball series as well in terms of the veto. Really does make you wonder and question what are things going to turn out at the flip of this half in the next maps. But in this round, we've got some pistols here for Order. A little bit of the upgrades on the sidearms. We saw what they were able to do with the full USPs. Bit of a scaff stack for them at the moment as well, with some rotations starting to be guessed. And Sterling, I mean, trying to cop a wallbang with the AWP. More of a scare tactic, I think, at this point in time, instead of a pick tactic.
The patience for Direwolves has certainly been rewarding them for the majority of rounds. There was the one where they left it that little bit too late. Other than that, though, you cannot really fault them. Very solid start to the T side. And again, it looks like they are just going to group up, try to change it up as well. Putting a bit of pressure at mid now. You still couldn't close the distance, and that on-light peak coming through is enough to knock him down a notch. Ricky spamming away with the P250, and that's not gone well for him. So Gyra and Vexite now have to try to pick up the pieces, but Ex-Direwolves was looking pretty damn good in this situation. Vexite, 1 dig, coming in from behind there. And it's all up to Gyra now, as APOC managed to go for that late trade.
A little bit of damage to come through from Vexite here, Mac, but yeah, as you do say it, it's just down to Gyra in the 1 versus 3 with the small amount of HP. If you can swindle away a weapon, that would be really good to take over into the next round. Don't have to repurchase, focus on the utility, get the kits out as well. And the next round is going to be one of the more crucial ones for Order as well. If they concede that, then the side of Ex-Direwolves are going to look to spiral away with this half and maybe get too far in front for their reach, but we'll have to wait and see how that gun round is going to start to come out. As this round, I was going to say, it was looking quite clean for the Ex-Direwolves, making sure that they were keeping Order in check. making sure that their economy was kept honest as well without really dropping anything. But a bit of a reinvestment we will be seeing later. And there's the AK that Gyro will manage to find himself as well and get away with. So you'll take that at the end of the day for the next round. We will see the AWPs back in play and the full utility. And I guess for the battle in this game, Mac, hopefully another round for Order.
Ooh, quick timeout coming through.
Mm.
Quick replay as well. A couple of deke shots coming through sharp from Vexite, but of course it was not enough to convert into another round. However, you know, Ex-Direwolves, they did get their choice of side here, so you'd expect them to pick the T side. You'd expect them to have a very solid first half. It's all about that second half, though. However, if you're looking at individual form today, Ex-Direwolves are really already putting on a show. If you got APOC fragging up, you got Sterling and Licky over in the double digits already in terms of kills. You got Sterling rocking that, bloody 4 KD. That's absolutely ridiculous just this early on in the game, and I dare say that's going to continue to rise. But Order at least having a quick chat, having a quick discussion on what they need to change going into the final couple of rounds here in the first half, because something needs to if they want to try to get 6 on the board.
And the way that this circuit's working right now as well, you've got 4 30-second timeouts to be able to utilize throughout the game. So if you feel like you need to, just jock them on down and have a little bit of a chat with your friends and your teammates, and that's exactly what Order have done. Now, Ex-Direwolves looking to turn up the heat as soon as that timeout comes away. They've gathered some nice control over at A ramp and already forced Order back in toward the site itself. Still do have the AWP in Rick's hands, of course, and Vexite has come over to help at this site.
Yeah. Well, what are we going to see from Ex-Direwolves? A couple of knives being pulled out, feeling very, very safe on the ramp, it seems.
Vexite getting up on it. Won't be seeing Licky's head at the moment. You can certainly hear the fire starting to land, and it is going to trickle away a little bit of damage in the mix as well. So Ex-Direwolves, a minute to go, really forcing Order back in toward the site and almost making them play for a bit of a post-plant retake, but the damage starts to come out and out of bullets. That's quite unfortunate.
Okay, well, Vexite looks like he'd had enough, starting to go forward just to get a bit of extra damage on the board early. Order now set up with the man advantage for the retake. Hazard even opting for the big green. Just looking to hold there from Sandbags as again, Order. They've got some decent util set up, ready to go for the retake, but they really need to try to pick up the pace because that is ticking away. Molly just going to be thrown exactly to where Haz is sitting too. So that orb out in the open, man, is just going to be a sitting damn duck. He's got no smoke to play with, but there is one on the front of site, which might have actually helped him. However, no one's tapping that bomb. No one's forcing the T's out of their position. Haz are now still just dancing around Sandbags. No one's on the bomb yet. And Order, they've left it too late. Absolute travesty for them. Miscommunication somewhere along the line, but there you have it. Ex-Direwolves all falling, but they're going to take the round with them.
Oh, it's one of those circumstances as well where you might throw into the mix, no kit, no clue. You could see that Ustillo in the end there wanted to jump on through to be able to find it and maybe swindle away onto that bomb defuse and try to get the round. But they, as you say, just left it way too long at the end. Ex-Direwolves, they weren't even leading the issue in those fights. They knew that time was on their side. If that keeps ticking on down, they know that they're in with that round. And Order, I don't know what you would call that one. A case of confusion, yeah, for sure. But it feels like a different Order that we're witnessing right now. Ex-Direwolves really making them quite vulnerable time and time again at the beginning of these rounds. And at least for the start of this one, it goes the other way with Valiant's finding 2, but Hazard immediately there for a bit of a trade.
Trying to dominate a little bit of mid control. Nice and early. And this is just going to be, you know, fighting fire with fire at this point. However, Hazard's got control of the B site for now and just trying to enable this rotation from the rest of the boys. Safe passage over towards the default plant for Savage. And Licky now just worried about the flank. Man's got full util to play with as well. So with those double flashes, can easily set up the other 2 on site for an aggressive play. Maybe give themselves that numbers advantage. But it depends on when that's going to happen. Again, Order, so much util here for the retake as well.
Yeah, another Molotovs are going through from the Ex-Direwolves as well. They do still have a HE grenade in the back of Savage's possession, but with all the players sitting around the generator right now, we're going to see a later towards Vexite, and Hazard just immediately doubling on through. Makes it into the 1 versus 2 for Ricky, and with the boomstick, it's going to be quite hard for him to be able to go for. But Savage gives him an opportunity now for the 1 versus 1. But you know what you hear? You hear the time. It's ticked too far again, and he's going to have to take that gun into the next round.
Certainly do hear that
Oh,
bomb
Licky?
exploding. Licky, no, he's got
Uh,
plenty of cash. He's got 10K in the bank, mate. It has no effect on the situation they're in. Able to
the
drop
stats,
his
man.
teammate, able to drop himself as well. Mate, he's just here for a good time. That's it. You know, Ex-Direwolves, they are pretty much set up for success on Vertigo already. 11 rounds and
Yeah.
looking down the barrel of maybe 12 rounds, considering orders by, you know, leaves something to be desired with the FAMAS in the hands of Ustillo. I'm pretty interested that they managed to still get that big green, the double AWP
Yeah.
coming through. So see what
I
they're able to do.
I was going to say, I don't know what's happening because Valiance has 3,100 going into this round. He could have dropped Ustillo a gun and they could have gotten full utility on him. Maybe miscommunication. I have no idea, but he's going to try and do something with that FAMAS. It's not going to work out. And man, a 12-3 scoreline is what Ex-Direwolves are chasing. More kills going their way. It's just down a Ricky and Vex site split at different sides of the map by Vex site. Now it's on a Ricky for a 1 versus 4 that, I mean, is he qualified for going this? Yeah, for sure. Much better at the game than me, but uh, it's just hard. This Ex-Direwolves, they've come to fight. They've come to party.
It's not even about being qualified at this point. It's, you know, it's the last round of the half. So no matter what, you have to go for it. You've got no other option. And you can see Ricky as well. He's not even going to check his corner. So it's a knife to end half.
Licky.
Jumping off the edge. He's literally just here for a good time. But we're not going to be here for a good time much longer because, ladies and gents, we've got a halftime break to get to. And we'll see you with the second half on the other side of it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to IEM Fall 2021 for Oceania. We're currently in the upper bracket with Order and Ex-Direwolves going head-to-head on map number 1 of the series. And this, of course, is Order's map pick, but Ex-Direwolves are putting on a performance and really punishing them for picking a little bit of Vertigo. Aren't they, Komodo?
Yeah, sure thing. And you know what the problem is as well? We're going to Ancient in the next one, and we know how proficient Ex-Direwolves are on that map as well. But looking to go straight in toward this new pistol round right now. Order, they are straight in toward the B side as well, getting on the plant very, very early. We saw the exact same kind of pistol round in the beginning of this map, and maybe Order are just trying to mirror what the Ex-Direwolves threw their way.
Certainly looks like that. Smoke as well, just buying a little bit of extra time. Gyro, though, going to take a very aggressive fight. Another onto Vexite, too. So, Ex-Direwolves, man advantage now, just pushing back in, and they've got so much time to retake here. Smoke already going down to the bomb and forcing Ustilo to be in a very awkward situation. So, it's up to Ricky, up to Valiance, trying to make this one happen. Valiance needs to try to get into a post plate where he can stop. Just taking his head off, taking another one, and Ex-Direwolves now take it to a 10-round lead to kick off the second half.
10-second defuse, 10-round lead. You take them as they come. And for Savage, padding his stats again on the pistols. This man has so much, like, just power to come through from these sidearms. It is unbelievable. And the 10 rounds, Mac, I don't know. The pistol was one of the ways that we had to see kind of Order gather to maybe get back in toward this game. And in dropping that one, they're going to be forcing in toward the new round with the 5 amount of Galils and a little bit of utility as well. But the important factor is they need to be hitting these shots. And right now, whilst they are hitting a couple of them, Ex-Direwolves are pulling the pin a bit quicker.
Yeah, it seems that decision making is slightly better this time. You could see Order look like they're playing, or they were playing for retake a lot in that first half, and it sometimes was getting them those rounds, but it really just wasn't turning into as many rounds as they expected. Gyro, though, perfect timing on the push, just cashing APOC without his gun in hand, so it's going to be him trying to find a timing over towards the A site, but Sterling stood in his way, and him and Licky able just to regroup here and really just lock down the A site.
Well, Ex-Direwolves' information now is that Order have come in with a bit of a purchase, so they should be changing up their game plan a little bit, see what they can do. Sterling, very unfortunate in the bullets missing his way. Vexite will be hearing the reload sound. He'll be able to find the frag as well. So Order with the player advantage. A lot of time still to utilize. Will be met with a bit of a predicament, though, as Vexite does fall, whilst they have got mid-control, Mac. The bomb will be picked up, and they'll start to make their merry way over towards B.
Rotation through, but look at Hazard's position. There's a chance that he might be able to hold it. No. Spoke too soon. Ustilo knew, but he liked to play aggressive over towards the cutout there. But at least a quick trade coming through from Savage brings it back to that 2-on-2. Safe passage to side as well. Valiance getting this one planted at default. Ustilo over on that double stack. Able to trade some damage through as Val now goes a little bit too wide. And the CT's now just trying to trade it through. But this Galil could pop them up in just a couple of bullets. And in comes the two-man swing, but it's just too much. Ustilo copping one on the face. And it's Ex-Direwolves with another successful retake. So that puts them with an 11-round lead, 2 away from taking map 1. And just displaying absolute domination in the first map of the series.
Yeah, it looked really rough from Ustilo to be able to try and wrangle the spray to come out of that Galil at the end, and they did spot out the information on the players up plat, but you can't quite formulate the frags in the end, dodging in the utility as best you can. Shots need to go to the face, shots need to go to the body, and with the Ex-Direwolves being so low, it didn't happen. 14 on the board, you're going to see the force come through for Order. They want to try to get back in toward this one, crawl themselves out of the hole in the regulation phase, not play for OT. Which is, you know, would be a massive comeback to be witnessed. But just with the way that the Ex-Direwolves have really been pushing and pulling and sitting Order down, it's going to be quite difficult stretch to be able to come on through. Regardless, bit of merry way up towards sight from Vexite, clearing a lot of the space for his team to be able to sit pretty with at the moment.
Keeping it slow for the moment again. Patient approach, just hoping that they can find something for the time being in terms of that map control. And it looks like we've got a bit of alert coming back down ladder, keeping that bomb in towards a safe position for Order, who, again, aren't splitting up too much in these early rounds, just looking to stay close, trade it out. Strength in numbers approach is very good, especially with how Ex-Direwolves are playing, which is, you know, not missing many shots.
Well, that's one of the keys. If you're not missing your shots, you're setting yourselves up for victory. And that is exactly what Ex-Direwolves are looking for in this one. 45 seconds to go, and Order, they really did slow down. Starting to set up their utility on for the A site. Execute. You got the smoke, the flashes as well. Sterling's already saying no to that. Licky on the swing as well. And this is just great foundations and re-aggression plays to come through from the Ex-Direwolves, rather. Player advantage. They know they just have to wait for the bomb plant to go down, and they're not even going to let Order do that at the moment. They've really just disconnected them.
Well, we've seen this a little bit lately coming out from Order, just letting that clock tick way too late, and they're hoping that silence is going to work out for them this time.
Oh, Savage.
The double dig setup, big trade coming through, and it actually does. Ricky, big job to trade through there, and the cover's in here from Gyra, but Hazard not able to get that straight transfer. Expects the swing from big old Rick. Unfortunately, though, Ricky was that little bit sharper this time. Takes a 13th kill for himself and gives Order that little bit extra breathing.
The start of something new. The force-up idea there from them was to be able to try and bring this one back and win it in the regular phase, not go into OT. So you get one round on the board, and you got to take it one at a time at the moment, making sure that you're keeping yourselves and Ex-Direwolves honest, because you know that they're going to be able to come out with a lot more gun rounds later on. And the Ex-Direwolves have chosen to force up in this bar Sterling. So we're going to see a little bit of utility, what the Deagles can do. The CZ and, of course, the 5-7, which is starting to see a little bit more purchases since the Deagle debuff. But right now...
Well, 5-7 at that range could have found himself some timing. But Order really starting to fire up. You know, just when it's needed to. They can't afford Ex-Direwolves to get any more rounds, and that's a great way to start things off. For both sides as well. APOC getting the large amount of info with that push too.
Yeah, it's just going to be the grouping up for Order right now. Sterling looks to take a little bit of a duel. He's just going to echo out a Deagle shot and look to fall back. Order with the gun superior plays to come through here as well. Just making sure that they're still just resting on the information that they've been able to gather. They know that the pistols are in play for Ex-Direwolves. They know that they can't be walking into a stack, so using what util they can to force Ex-Direwolves out of more comfortable positions and put them out in the open. They'll start to take these duels as well, where Sterling does manage to find one. And as he does bid adieu this round, it's just going to be onto Savage, who's going to start to get his rotation happening, and maybe he finds one or two more picks. That'll be brilliant for Ex-Direwolves, but if he doesn't, hey, it's going to be that eco to come forward and then guns in the one after.
Essentially, exits are on the menu for him at the moment. Ricky just going haywire, coming in on the flank, but also drawing a lot of attention. There's the info of Savage's position. But at this point, look, man's got armor. He's saving $1,500 over across to the next round. And if you push him and you die, that's a whole lot you've lost. So what Savage decides to do, just trying to keep the range close. But Ricky, he loves to pad a few stats, but is it going to cost him his life?
Ooh, he hurt him.
Ooh, almost did.
There we go. Mac, another one on the board for the boys in Order.
Yep.
Taking that M4 as well for Vexite. So we'll see what T-side opportunities this silence variant can provide. But of course, it's going to be silence on the side of Ex-Direwolves right now, as I did mention. It's going to be that eco to come through from them, as they'll be able to bring up some guns in the next round. That AWP as well, which is why we saw Sterling opt for more so of an eco than the force up than the rest of the squad did in the previous round. Order starting again, just on these fundamentals, getting their utility down towards A ramp. Make sure they get the early control of that, leaving you still to kind of lurk about toward the T spawn. And you got a little bit of the fancier lurk to come out from Valiance as well, just making sure there's no pushes to come through from Ex-Direwolves on the other side of the map. So as the group up is here for the CTs, I'll just be waiting patiently, pretty much holding each other's hands. See if any of the Order members do waltz in to say hello.
Well, looks like it's a timing push, swinging in, trying to catch the T's with their pants down, but it's not worked out as well as expected. Only Gyro to fall. But look, one casualty is better than multiple, and Order really just keeping those finances in order. For the moment, into round 21 we go, and there's still 8 rounds in the deficit. Things are going very, very slowly, but look, each round is a small step in the right direction for Order. The Ex-Direwolves just need to work out what they need to do here in the second half to lock it down. Are they going to change up the pace? Are they just, waiting for these gun rounds to try to waltz their way to victory? For now, it seems like it's just the latter.
Yeah, there's no kits for the Ex-Direwolves here as well, so they have to make sure that they're finding the frags, making the bomb not to be able to get planted. I like this push to come in from Licky, but he's whiffed the shots, and Gyra will capitalize upon that. No trades to come out, but a rotation is starting to happen over in mid. Sterling on the big boomstick takes a fight, which he's actually missing a couple of shots as well. It's going to allow Ustillo to creep on through for the trade. So now it's a multi-dimensional approach to come through from Order. They can get in toward this A site right behind the CTs and really start to stir a little bit of a muck around in the round. Aper falls, and now it's on Hazard and Savage to see what they can bring back. Oh.
Okay, well, maybe a chance. We've seen Hazard do it before, but it's a big ask from the little man. He might have been able to thread the needle in through Maze, just clearing out all the angles. Finds one on the Ustillo in the back, but now, most crucial piece of information is his position's now known. Hazard. Push forward with a late rotation coming in from Valiance. Maybe Order were a bit worried, but Ricky stood and held his ground, and it was more than enough to get another on the board for Order. So maybe this is just what Order was sort of biding their time for, was the second half, getting here on the T side. Unfortunately for them, the start of the second half didn't start as intended. Losing 2 rounds put them in a very risky territory. But Ex-Direwolves haven't seemed to be able to figure it out since Order have had guns in their hand.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the CT side shenanigans that sets them back a little bit, or what feels like sets them back at the moment. But we know that they've still got 7 rounds of cushioning to be able to let things go awry, see how Order are playing this T side, because they only need 2 at the end to be able to solidify this. And 2 here and there is still a victory if they are able to find them. But again, Order right now, they're just trying to put a stop on it. As Sterling gets away with 2. It does get traded out, so some damage from the pistols here, Mac. As it's just going to be Licky, see if he can get anything out in the end. And yeah, I wonder what Order's game plan is in the next one, knowing that the Ex-Direwolves have another purchase to come through.
I guess we'll see. Dion, I guess we will see. Vexite, still plenty of money in the bank as well. And this is what you need to do when you are trying to formulate a comeback. Just have as much as humanly possible in your bank account as you can, because if you win those 1-on-1s, you win those 1-on-2s or 2-on-1s, and you're just slowly having your finances chipped away at, then when you have a huge pillow of safety, that allows you just to keep on getting these buys on the board and giving yourself the best damn chance of a comeback possible. So Order doing everything right at the moment to get back into the game. And Ex-Direwolves, look, they tried a more aggressive play before with Licky running through a smoke at the bottom of the round. Find a timing, didn't work. So
this is cheeky.
They're trying a few different things.
APOC boosted up in a very uncharacteristic position, an unexpected position, but the normalized utility goes straight on towards Sterling, and his E starts to burn away. HE Grenade's not going to send anything in return, and Savage is going to be meeting the grave in this round already. But the Ex-Direwolves, they're really stuck in this site at the moment, trying to bail Sterling out. They can't do it, and Order are already in the site.
Shoulder could be spotted. Goes wide, and APOC ready for it. That brings it back to that 3-on-3 as well. So I believe he was flashed in. He wasn't just going for that dry push up dig. APOC, however, in a solid position not to be flashed by that util. So Order now just regrouping and trying to send it back towards B. They haven't had a whole lot of success in the post plants here early on. Oh,
you still are. That would have been a massive frag for Order to be able to find player advantage going into a scenario of a post plant. Now it switches the other way, where Ex-Direwolves, they have a 1-player advantage, but a secondary one when the bomb starts to be planted. It would be onto Gyra here to really hold down the fort. As Val starts to get the plant, Gyra pushes up 1 single point in HP to be able to play with right now. The kit is here for Licky, but with no utility for anyone across the board. It's all these dry jewels. It's Valiance now. Known on the site, takes the jewel, Licky gets the trade, and Ex-Direwolves rather, finally hit that round number 15, that map point on Order's pick.
One step closer to sending us to Ancient, which honestly, I'm not even too worried about at this point. I'm just down for a good time, down to see. No one's been able to take Ex-Direwolves on Ancient for a while, which means no one's allowed it into the veto. So Order allowing this into the veto is interesting. You know, have Order been playing it? Have they got something in their back pocket? And are they going to try to pull out something different because they know Ex-Direwolves haven't been able to play it for a little while. So I guess maybe they're hoping it's shaky, but we've still got at least one more round here on Vertigo, Dion. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Ex-Direwolves as well. Look at the economy. There's not a whole lot of util to play with, and Ricky, I don't think he spotted APOC dropping either there.
Oh, it's a little bit of the spreading your wings in this round. Setting out your hand for a firm handshake, seeing if anyone is going to give that firm grip on the other side. Right now, not really. Everyone's just keeping it slow, keeping it mellow, setting out their utility to see if anyone is going to provide a bit of an easier chance. Speaking on the Ancient regard as well, it's been a while since we've seen the Ex-Direwolves play that map. And they've gotten 16 4s, 16 6s. They're a very destructive team on Ancient. So I do agree with you on what Order has planned on that map, letting it through. But right now, as Ustillo starts to stretch out through mid, Savage is going to look to get a little bit of aggressive. It's hard to read the man if he wants to fall back as well.
See what happens here. Vexite, 48 seconds on the clock, and it looks like they have enough util to go for the double pump at A. Trying to bait out all that extra util for the moment. They know that there's not many pieces remaining. That Molly already
seconds
over towards Dig. A couple of flashes there as well just to clear out Elbow. And all of a sudden, off the back of that, Ex-Direwolves, they might think it is a fake and start to edge Savage back towards the B site, which means Order could be set up for success now.
There's only 20 seconds to get in, and this utility has to go down, and they have to go straight in toward the site. There's so much that relies on Ricky right now with this util being dumped on down, but as you did say it is a little bit of a fake to bring the Ex-Direwolves over to that site, actually, over at A. B site is right for the taking. Haz is going to start to make his rotation. Where's the bomb right now? It does start to go down just in the nick of time, in fact. Oh, you talk about leading it too late now. Savage gets absolutely destroyed by a jumping Ustillo, and it's on an APOC for a 1 versus 5 where he just has to go for the save and see if he can find any exit damage.
On there, a little bit of timing going in favor of Order with the jump up into window. Vexite finding some timing that definitely aided him as well. And they know that the economy is so low for Ex-Direwolves. You can see how important the hunt is for a lot of these Order players. They've still got a bit of extra money in the tank as well to keep this comeback happening. But look, as you mentioned, or as I mentioned rather earlier on, I was like, oh cool, they're going to go for the double pump. And then we put the double pump fake off that second Exy. They're just smashing it all the way back to B and found that site for free. So just starting to condition Ex-Direwolves to make those last second decisions. And this time they made the wrong one, which isn't something you've seen from Ex-Direwolves.
Yeah. You could really feel the sense of confusion from the Ex-Direwolves squad there by just where Savage was playing. He was moving left and right. Did he want to go take a challenge in mid? Did he want to fall back to A or towards B? It was just so confusing for the Ex-Direwolves that they didn't want to also give up the advantages in that round that they had in terms of positioning around on the other site. You speak about positioning right now. Order are just booking it straight in toward the B site. That rotation is going to have to come over swiftly for the Ex-Direwolves with a little bit of damage already happening on a Vex site as he's in toward the site. But yeah, the last round was a really strange round on all accounts.
Okay. Wiki just spamming away. Many bullets in the mag of a 5.7. And in comes some impact with that A1S. APOC able to trade for another.
Oh,
now,
APOC.
Things are getting a bit scary for Order. APOC, oh, can't find that third hazard now. Pushing off the contact, but it's going to be Vexite to hold down the fort on the B site. And there you go. The flood in off the double-pronged approach. Doesn't quite work out for Ex-Direwolves, but it does chip away at the economy. But again, looking at the money in the bank there for Vexite. 10k. Valiant's just had 10k as well before buying. So there's plenty of money to go into the final rounds of this half.
Complacency could be an issue for the Ex-Direwolves here as well. They've got these map points to be able to try and utilize to get the victory, but they can't be in with the mindset of, it's only one round. It's just one. Let's get this one. They have to be doing all of their normal stuff that they do to be able to try and gather this round. And for the starting of it, it's not actually that bad. A 1-on-1 trade where Sterling goes down. Ustillo's on 6 HP. He's got an AWP in play, though. Double AWP on the T side. Very interesting.
Dire Straits calls for dire measures, and it looks like we're going to see an attempt at a timing play from Hazard as well. Man, just down and waiting in that smoke, fully clearing out the bottom of B. So took a huge risk here, and it might just be game, set, and not quite match, of course. But he's going to continue to hunt here on the flank. There's just so much information with every little inch he's pushing forward. But Order, they have no idea at the moment, and they're still just worried about taking this elbow control. But Ex-Direwolves, the A-site players, they just need to survive.
Yep, and with that molly going down as well, that's actually really huge. Now Hazard peeps up his head down at the lower ramp, and he manages to find one frag, a little bit of extra damage to be delivered on towards Ricky. Apoc's position, I don't actually think it's been sniffed out as well on top of here. So if Ricky falls, that's the bomb. That's a big opportunity for Ex-Direwolves to be able to close it out here. Vexite's just trying to drop utility over at the other side, pull rotations away for the eventual play for Order to get in towards this B site. The timing, Apoc, he hadn't seen him. But there goes Vexite, and now with this utility going down, Mac, they know it's not actually over at B.
Apoc didn't actually look over towards the elbow either, so didn't quite spot it. However, reinforcements starting to come through, but it's all up to big boy Rick. Trying to make this happen in the 1-on-2. Has to play from an open position at Sandbags. Util coming through, but he's managed to find a time. Smoke fade in, connects onto one, and Savage falls. And it's up to Ricky, 1-on-1 with Licky. Who's the better Icky? Well, we're about to find out because it's jiggling over the top. Licky, head spotted, but he's pushing. He's running low on time, and Ricky can't connect. There is a kit here, so that will be the game. Vertigo going over to Direwolves, 16-10. Order tried so hard, but